Hello, I'm Teacher Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. Today we're going to talk about confusing grammar. I've chosen a few topics that many students ask about, so we're going to hopefully answer some of your questions about these confusing grammar topics today. If you want to participate in the class, all you have to do is write your question in the comments. So if you want to know something or if you want to answer the questions that I have for you at the end of the class, then feel free to participate by writing in the comments section. So the first confusing grammar point that I've chosen for today is the difference between until and by. So let's look at how to differentiate between these two. Okay, when do we use until? We use until to refer to an action that lasts up until a certain point in time. And the emphasis is placed on the action and its duration. So let's look at some examples here in the affirmative. We lived in that flat until last December. Let's wait until it stops raining. And I worked until 8 p.m. Now let's see some examples in the negative. Details will not be available until the end of February. You are not going out until you have finished your homework. So see how these examples, they all talk about a specific point in time. Okay, so now let's look at by. With by, the emphasis is on the moment that the action ends rather than its duration. Okay, it does not express any concept of the duration of the action or event. So we actually don't know how long it lasted, only when it finished. For example, will you be able to complete the work by the end of this semester? Okay, now let's look at some examples to show the difference between the two because it's a very slight difference, but it's important. Okay, so look at this example. I can do the work by 7 p.m. In this case, it means I can finish the work before 7 p.m. Okay, and I can work until 7 p.m. means I am available to work until 7 p.m. but not after that time. Okay, so do you see the difference here? I see we have some people joining us. Paul is watching us from Mexico. Thanks for joining, Paul. We're happy to have you here. If you have a question, feel free to write it in the comments. Okay, so let's move on to a couple more examples with until versus by, this time in the negative. Okay, if I say I can't do the work by 7 p.m., it means that I cannot finish before 7. Okay, it's not possible. And if I say I can't work until 7 p.m., it means I cannot do any work before 7, okay? So there is a slight difference, but it makes a big, it really changes the meaning, the use of until versus by in this example. Okay, and one thing to point out in addition, we also use the expression in English by the time, which indicates that one event has already ended when another occurs. For example, by the time we arrived at the supermarket, it had already closed. Okay, we can also use this in the future. By the time we arrive at the supermarket, it will already be closed. Okay, so you see one action finishes, which is the supermarket closing, and then you arriving there. Okay, so we have 2 points in action here. Okay, my remote has stopped working. So if on the other computer you can press the arrow button. Okay, we've finished this topic of until versus by, and we're going to move on to the next one as soon as my, oops, there we go. Okay, so right arrow. Oops. Okay, arrow to the right should take it to the next slide. No? Is it working now? Okay. Do we have any questions in the meantime? Okay, so I see we have one question. Someone asked, what is the difference between finished and completed? Okay, these are synonyms, so you can use one or the other. Sorry for this background, ignore that. If you can click on the presentation. There we go, okay. All right, and arrow, it's not working. Okay, you know what? I'm going to be right back. I'm going to fix it and I'll be right back with you. 1 second. Sorry for the technical error. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully this will work. I hope that no one left in the meantime. Okay, so we have just learned until versus by. Hopefully that's clear. And now we're going to talk about the difference between yet, already, and still. Okay, so again, I apologize for the technical error. Let's start with yet. All right, yet is something which is normally expected to happen, and something which has not happened up until a specific time in the past. Okay, so we use yet with questions and negative sentences, and we often use it with the perfect form, so present perfect, past perfect, etc. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Have you eaten yet? No, not yet. Another example, has Mike left for work yet? Yes, he left early this morning. Okay? And in the negative, I haven't seen this movie yet. So here we have something that you've expected to occur, but it still hasn't happened. So we use this word yet. Okay? Already. We use already to ask or answer questions in the affirmative and to say that something has happened earlier early or earlier than expected. Okay? For example, have you been on holiday yet? So this is a question with yet. You can say, yes, I have already been on holiday, which means the person who's asking you probably wasn't expecting the answer to be yes, but you surprise them and you say, yes, I have already been on holiday. Have you already eaten? No, I haven't. Okay, note that already goes between the auxiliary and the main verb in the sentence. Okay, so here we have a couple examples. She has already eaten her dinner. So here we have the present perfect has eaten, and we put the already in between the auxiliary and the main verb. Let's see another example. Claire has already arrived home. So here, has arrived, and we put already in the middle. Has already arrived. Okay, now let's move on to still. We use still for something that has not finished, often when we expect it to be finished. Okay, so it's ongoing when you thought that it would already be finished. For example, we are still working on the project. So this implies that you thought you would be done, but in fact you're still working on it. He still got a lot of work to do. Okay, so more than expected. I still haven't seen that movie. So maybe you thought you would have already seen the movie, but you still haven't gotten around to it. Okay, so now that we have reviewed these two confusing grammar points, until versus by, and yet, already, and still, I want you to practice by writing in the comments, okay? So practice writing a sentence using the tips that I've just given you with yet, already, or still, or practice writing a sentence with until or by, or practice writing with all 5 of these words if you want to. If you feel like you want to challenge yourself, then feel free to do that. So as you are writing your answers, let me tell you a little bit more about our course here at ABBA. We have a complete course from beginners to business level. Our course has 144 units, and each unit features a short film, a video class explaining the grammar, and then exercises to practice all of your skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So it's a complete course, and you can study from your home computer, from your mobile phone, or from your tablet. So it's very flexible. Your progress is saved on all of these devices when you study from one device to another. And if you want more information about our course, you can go to abbaenglish.com, and there you can find more information about all of the different plans that we have available for you. Okay, in addition to our course, we have many other free resources for you to practice your English with us, like our blog, our ABBA journal. There you can find articles about grammar, culture, English for business, travel, all kinds of really interesting information. And we are on all of the social media networks: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So you can find some really good, useful short videos on YouTube and Instagram. For example, we post daily on those websites, so it's a really good way to practice your English with us every day, to learn something new every day. Okay, so let's see if anyone has a question or if anyone has practiced writing an example with what we just learned. If not, for the time being, that's fine. I encourage you to keep writing your answers in the comments. If you want to think about it or watch the video again and then write in the comments, then feel free to do that. The video will stay on our Facebook page, so if you click on the video section, you can go and see all of our previous classes. So let me tell you about next week's topic. We're going to be talking about learning English with books. So in February, we have celebrated Library Month and Reading Month. So this is a really great opportunity for me to encourage you to practice your English with books. And I'm going to give you some recommendations from children's books to young adult books all the way through adult, because it's actually helpful sometimes to start with children's books if you're a beginner, and then work your way through as your level increases. So we're going to talk about all kinds of different tips and recommendations for reading in English next week. So I hope this class has been useful for you to clear up some of your doubts on confusing grammar points. We want to make this a series, so if you want to recommend another confusing grammar point, I really don't understand the difference between this and this, or something else, then please let us know in the comments. Yes, okay. Oh, great. We have another question. Somebody asked, can we use already with the present simple? Normally, no, because we use the present simple to talk about habitual actions, like every day I go to work. So already is something that you do before expected. So you wouldn't say I go already to work. You would either use it in the past, I already went, or you would use the present perfect, I have already gone. Okay, so it's not normal, it doesn't sound natural to use already with the present simple, but that's a very good question, Mao. Thank you very much for asking. Okay, so if there are no more questions at this time, then I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you can join us next week. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Siempre tengo problemas con Bueno, no sé si viste cuántas personas estaban viendo.